Hello, everyone. This is Facts and Two Cents. We are back, and I'm Pamela.
And I'm Petal.
Great, awesome. And like I was saying, well, I didn't. You guys weren't here. I said it before, and we had a retake, so this is going to come into the show. But I have my unbroken T-shirt on.
It's so funny.
Hey,
And I
Invictus.
have this T-shirt, and I was like, it's so funny. I put it on and realized, like, I bought this T-shirt, and I don't even know what it says. It could be cussing my mother, and I didn't know. But then it says
Well,
the
you will find
University of
out
Evansville.
by the
I'm like,
viewers.
okay.
You will find out by the viewers. They'll tell you, all right.
I was like, I'm wearing something I don't even know what it says.
Yeah. Anyway, so we are a show just, strictly made for the Sussexes. Like we always say, we are here for the Duchess of Sussex, the Duke of Sussex, King Archie, and Lady Queen
Princess
Lily.
Lily of Money.
All right, fine. So Prince and Princess of Montecito, Archie and Lilibet, that's her name, Lilibet, Lily Diana, Doria, Queen Mother Doria, uh, Pula Guy, and all the chickens. That's who we are here for. So, like we said, we always say, listen, we are biased and we are petty,
Very.
very petty, and don't come for us unless we send for you. That's just the fact. But if you come for us, we have like really good core followers who like just would chase you out.
Don't even
I love you
bother. It's a
guys.
waste of your time.
I know. We need to find a name for our followers. They're like they're spicy. I love
I
it.
love them too.
They'll chase you out. They'll be like, no, don't you dare. So
They
thank you,
protect our space,
followers.
and that is
They
awesome,
do,
guys.
they do, they do, they do. And again, thank you for all of you who have started following us. We are about what, like over 1,000 now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's amazing because when we started, we had about, God knows, 10, and we were happy with those 10, 15 people because it's like, yes, we got 10, 15 strong people. So thank you for
Now
the
we have a wonderful community.
community, yes, and growing. So please remember to share, comment, click that notification bell, and do all the things that we need to do to grow this. Right? We want to try to see if we can hit 5,000. By when?
Mm-hmm.
What should we say? By when? What should be our goal?
By August.
By August, and it has to be an incentive. We have to give an incentive. Like we should think about an incentive to share once we hit the 5,000, because that would be. This is a huge milestone, but 5,000 would be also like very.
Yeah. And if you haven't already, please click the notification button and subscribe. That would be really awesome. Please subscribe if you haven't. Click that notification bell so that way you'll know as soon as we drop a video, you'll be alerted. So
yeah, because we don't have a regular. Well, are we gonna have a regular day now?
Well, yes, I said Monday, and so we're thinking Monday and Friday.
Okay. All right. Well, so there you go. There you go. I'm kind of like adjusting my seat. So there you go. Yes. All right. So today's topic, there's so much going on. I honestly was just telling Pedal that I haven't been on Twitter that much the past couple of weeks, but it's been busy, like crazy busy. But that's a whole different story. But when I checked in, there was a lot going on, which we're going to touch on. Okay, so this is something that I brought up to your attention because I was like, Pedal, I don't know what's going on with Omid because I hadn't been on Twitter. And when I got on Twitter, I saw his message and said, thanks for those who are checking up on me. And then I read a bit of the thread and it was so long. I was like, I can't even get through this right now. I don't know what is going on. So you take this, Mike.
All right. So this is one of those things where you're like, really? So apparently ITV had this yet another documentary about the goings on between Harry and William.
Okay.
And it's like, I think it was called like William and Harry, What Went Wrong? Mm-hmm. And obviously we who are not in the UK have not seen it. But apparently what we did get from it is that there are a bunch of different royal reporters giving their take and rehashing the same old story that you've heard like a million times. And part of that was Omid talking about when Meghan and Harry came back from their trip to South Africa. Tom Bradby had done a documentary during that trip called Meghan Harry, an African Journey. Right. And so when that aired, Meghan and Harry, in the documentary, they talked about, the struggles that they were going through. Meghan talked about, people not asking her how she's doing. And Harry talked about, just that not, one of the very much quoted things that he said, I'm not going to be bullied into playing the game that killed my mom, and he talked about his mental struggles, thinking, feeling like, he thought was over it, and after a while it came back. And so he talked a lot about where he was mentally and how, what is the struggle that they've been going through. So when that aired, there was this huge backlash against them from the press, you know. And so there were these reports from the BBC, from the Daily Mail, from the Sun, Daily Beast, all reporting. And a lot of them took their reporting off of, the article from the BBC. Johnny Diamond, who's the royal correspondent from the BBC, wrote this article that a Kensington Palace source had said, that they were, Prince William would be very worried about his brother, and that Meghan and Harry are in a very fragile place.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of the articles, it was in the BBC report in 2019 that they're in a fragile place, and Prince William is worried. So they're all commenting on Meghan and Harry's mental health. Off of that, we have Rebecca English from the Daily Mail writing an article based on that. We have another person from the Daily Mail. We have Emily Andrews from the Sun writing an article about fragile Harry. I mean,
Wait, Emily Andrews is still with. Wasn't she fired, Emily Andrews?
Well, now, but back then.
Oh, before that. Oh, okay.
And now that I'm referring to each of them, all of these, and I'm referring to all of them as Prince William's friends, because now Emily. Now, because they are all basically referring to Omid Scobie, because Omid, he is just very across the board, report very fairly on both the Sussexes and the Cambridges. And he's not disparaging to either one. And so because he's not disparaging and being attacking to the Sussexes, they have a thing now, a narrative in England where they all call him the friend of the Sussexes.
Yeah,
all the reporters refer to him.
He's not the go along, get along, as
exactly
quoting somebody, Kwame Brown from the YouTube. He's like, go along, get along. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're all referring to him as not as a journalist as he is, but as a friend, because he would not attack the Sussexes as they are doing. Yeah. And so now I am referring to all of these people as friends of the Prince William. So his friends in the British press, in the Sun, his friends in the Daily Mail, his friends in the BBC, how we're all reporting this same narrative in 2019 when that documentary, all of them commenting on the mental health of Harry and Meghan. And the source of it was Johnny Diamond, Prince William's friend Johnny Diamond from the BBC, stating that a source from Kensington Palace said these things about Prince. And then in the same article, they do a double speak in the sense of, it also states that Kensington Palace does not comment on the ITV
That's so ridiculous. They are so miserable. You know what? They're shameless, which is clear. Yeah. They own it. They're shameless and they're unaware of it. Like, they're so shameless and unaware. It's just really dumb, because in the same sentence they say something different.
Exactly. It's like they wouldn't put out an official statement, but they will actually comment on it.
Exactly.
They wouldn't put out an official statement. So anyway, so they did all of this in 2019. So here in this documentary, with the ITV documentary, Omid Scobie is recollecting what they did back in 2019. So in this documentary, he said, I would say that it is no coincidence that it was shortly after that aired, the documentary, even the next day, that there were source quotes that came from senior aides at Kensington Palace saying that William was worried about his brother's mental health. So that's what Omid specifically said in the new documentary.
Yeah,
William and Harry.
That. Yeah,
William and Harry, what went wrong. And so apparently that clip played before the documentary aired, and Kensington Palace and their people heard of it. And then, according to, and if you believe the Daily Mail and the other sources, according to that, they sent their lawyers after ITV. Because what Omid also said is because, so, well, how do we know it was William? That he's a part of it. And he's like, well, he's the head of Kensington Palace. And that's where it came from. Exactly. What? So they did not like that. And so they sent their lawyers.
This is what you were talking about, and I agree with you, how they are such flip-floppers, right? In the literal term. Because here they are, they always say this is coming from the Queen says this, the Queen says that. But then if you hold the Queen accountable, then it's probably not the Queen, it's probably some courtier that said that. So which is it? Is it coming from the top? Do they have any responsibility? Do they have any legitimate power to say what they need to say? Are they aware of their courtiers, what they're saying? Is there any correspondence? Is there any conversation that's happening between, within the offices that are within each palace? Oh, this is just separate and nobody knows what's going
on. Nonsense. It's nonsense. So what they did, they wanted the ITV to strike it, but what ITV did was they literally just striked out where it says that Prince William's courtier said that Prince William was worried about Harry's mental health, because Prince William, he does all this work with mental health, so he does not want to be associated. And plus they said Omid Scobie had no facts that Prince William had said anything about that. He literally said he has no evidence that this is true, that Prince William said any of this.
But then other royal reporters have proved that the Queen or any other person that they could said that. If that's the case, then why aren't they saying quoting the person has a case, and I always say a source said? Why are they always referencing a source? If they really believe that, what they're saying or reporting is coming straight from the Queen or Charles or William, then just mention their names. Why do you keep saying, there's a source that said that? Yeah.
And that's what Kensington Palace or Prince William is now saying. Well, Scobie has no evidence that came from William. But what they did is they left in.
Basically, he's saying Scobie has no evidence that I said that.
Exactly. And so, but what they left in, that they struck that part. That William is concerned about Harry's mental health.
Oh, they just extracted through, but they left it in there.
But they left in that because Scobie basically said that the palace aides, Prince William's staff, planted those stories into the press. They left that in that they planted it, but they just took out that William said something about his mental health.
So basically, William is throwing his staff under the bus.
Oh, basically. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, just
but
double checking.
Think about it. It was just such nonsense, because you think about it. William, in 2019, William was the head of, Heads Together. He was involved in all these mental health projects. William never sent his lawyers against the BBC when they wrote it. No. He never sent the lawyers against the Mail. He never sent the lawyers against the Sun when they did it. Right now, in the last month, Robert Lacey has been the mouthpiece for Kensington Palace with his book Battle of the Brothers. And he has been on every single news channel, every single paper.
He's trying to sell a book. I don't know why you guys. You know what I think he's probably trying to do, to say that he outsold Finding Freedom. That's probably his agenda. He's like, and I don't think he would, because I don't know how many people are buying his books, but I think that might be something he's trying to accomplish as well. Because
and again, if I was in this place, I'll probably be doing the same thing. But in his book, he has the new chapters which specifically deal with Prince William and his anger and rage against Meghan because of those supposedly bullying claims, and how incandescent he is about those things. And so Robert Lacey,
oh, the squad loves that word.
I know. And well, they keep writing it.
I know.
So Robert Lacey has been doing this for the last month and a half. Basically, he's been Kensington Palace mouthpiece, because Prince William apparently spoke to a friend of his, and that friend is who spoke to Robert Lacey and gave him all this content for the new chapter, all of it detailing the supposed bullying claims against Meghan. The problem with that is all of the things that Robert Lacey wrote in those from the excerpts that we have, not 1 ounce of evidence did he write. All of it were attacks and charges with no evidence. Now, if Prince William his thing with ITV was that Omid had no evidence of him saying that he was concerned about mental, and that is his thing, because he is a mental health advocate, so he doesn't want his name attached to anything where he is concerned about his brother or his sister-in-law's mental health, and he wants to, because he's such a staunch advocate. Then I want to know, then how does he, one, not send his lawyers against Robert Lacey, and 2, how is he okay with the things that Robert Lacey has in his book? And I'm going to quote what Robert Lacey has in his book. This is what Robert Lacey has in his book, and I quote, and this is what the Kensington Palace staffers say. He says, they thought she was a complete narcissist and a sociopath, basically unhinged. Which is why the pair of them, meaning Harry and Meghan, which is why the pair of them were drawn to each other in the first place. Both damaged goods.
I know. I read that. I thought that online. That was so sad and so damaging and so hurtful and so painful that your own blood will allow that information said about your other brother, about you and your spouse, and then expect you to still be loving and kind and forgiving and just be obedient to whatever you say. I mean, I don't understand. I think this is where my mind comes in. I'm thinking, how badly do you want to hurt your brother, William?
Well, yeah, and
how badly do you want to hurt him and his wife? Obviously, we think we know your end goal. You want him dead, but if that's the case, then you will not survive. You know what I mean? Like the monarchy is not going to survive anyways, right? But you are here to destroy your brother, and all he's done is continue to, if at least publicly, show kindness towards you. Harry always wants to, to fix it, and I'm thinking, Harry, no. Let him burn. But you can see that Harry has evolved to a point where he just wants to resolve, but he needs them to acknowledge what they did wrong.
Yeah, well, even with this, going back again to where William doesn't want to, claims that Omid doesn't have any evidence that, that he was taking, worried about his mental health, and then sending his lawyers to have things cut out. But yet, here's Robert Lacey speaking for you.
Yeah.
With your approval.
Because you haven't said anything.
Staff just called his brother and his sister-in-law. He called her unhinged, narcissistic sociopath, and called both of them damaged goods. Damaged goods. Why haven't you, if this is your issue, that you want your reputation as a mental health advocate to
why
not
haven't you said anything?
Why have you not spoken out against Robert Lacey writing this in a book?
Maybe he didn't see that in the book. I think he didn't see that in the book, but I don't think William saw that part in the book.
Robert Lacey has been on every channel. This has been
I'm being sarcastic.
The New York Times.
I'm being sarcastic. He didn't see that in the book. William didn't realize that Robert, everybody's saying it. William has not read the book. Hasn't read the book, doesn't know, and didn't say anything. Of course he knows. I'm being, sarcastic about it. He knows. He's picking what he wants to pick to, and the fact that he's choosing and picking certain things to react to, and not even being aligned with what he's actually picking and reacting to alone says a lot. Because what he's picking and reacting to is all confusion. Because at one point, whatever today he's speaking this. I'm a leader, the leader of the Heads Together. Tomorrow you're calling your brother unhinged and you're worried about his mental fragility. It doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm saying. His
Right. And
PR
that's the
game
thing that
is
I'm
just
trying
like,
to say. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the thing that I'm trying to say. This has nothing to do with any of
no,
him not wanting to have his name aligned. Because if it was an issue where he doesn't want his name to, because he's a mental health advocate, this lawyer would have taken out Robert Lacey by now.
yeah,
This has nothing to do with that. What this has to do with is William is consolidating power.
mm-hmm.
And this is what this has to do with.
Yeah,
He
actually, I think
is,
that, yeah,
that's the reason.
that's the reason.
All of these people say all of these things against his brother and his sister-in-law's mental health, and he has not gone after them. The only person he has gone after is Omid Scobie, the one person that will not go against the Sussexes, that will not tarnish them, that will not target them.
Yeah.
And that is the only person he has gone after.
But
The
because he also knows
person,
Omid has American support.
Exactly. And the only other person that William has gone after, apart from Omid, Tom Bradby. If we are to believe Dan Wooten wrote a whole article about William cutting off his friendship, his 20-year friendship with Tom Bradby, because Tom Bradby is also a friend of Harry and Meghan.
Yeah.
But
Tom spoke the truth. Tom gave an insight, clarity to what was going on, and William did not like that because it did not favor him.
Exactly. And that is the thing. Is what William is doing right now is what Donald Trump did. It is a very right-wing tactic. Is I will cut off any person that is not fully committed to me, that will not follow me. And I will cut them off and I will set my right-wing press on them. That is why they're all going after Omid. That is why they're all attacking him. You see, his fellow colleagues in the press, it's the same thing they did to Tom Bradby, because Tom Bradby refused to attack the Sussexes.
Yeah.
The same thing with Omid. And that's what this is about. And with the ITV, with this nonsense about, they're lawyers after them, I don't believe that for 1 second. I believe that this is the invisible contract that happened. He probably threatened to pull access from ITV. I don't believe William or any lawyer having all this other evidence out there where, Kensington Palace staff is going after
what do you think? Well, I guess we know what the end result could be, but what do you think that he wants to accomplish, really?
I get consolidating power. He wants to be king. He wants to be king right now because he has the press on his side. They're not with Prince Charles. Very few of them are with Prince Charles. William is trying to get to be king right now. He has the press on his side. That's the reason. It's the same reason why a few weeks ago, when that, Telegraph posted that mildly critical article of Kate, they pulled that thing right away.
Yeah.
They need to
present that's so
them
dumb though. But
perfect.
do they think that we to social media is just so forgetful? Maybe that's what they think that British people are. Maybe they think they're subordinates, right?
Yeah,
the British people that will so not remember. But we, the rest of the world, we have archives and memory, and we have receipts.
But we're not the ones that they look to, though.
Yeah.
They're looking to the British people, and the British people. It's the same thing. You look at the race report that came out that the British press, we talked about in our last episode that we posted, that they had that incredible race report. Not one in the media reported about it, and there was no outrage from the people of England at all.
At all.
So
now, maybe we're generalizing. No, I'm sure there are people who were outraged, but they were not prominent enough to have a stage to talk about it. Maybe households.
There was no sustain from a group of people.
There wasn't. So the one of the vocal voices that we know of, Dr. Shula, she definitely spoke about it and was very keen. And then also there was somebody on is it LCB or LBC, whatever that show is. I always can't remember the name of the show.
LBC, yeah.
LBC. There's this black guy who's on there who also was it actually interviewed Dr. Shula, and they were both talking about it. And it just seems like I I don't like to generalize when it comes to these things. I feel like it's always there are people who have individuals who have their con- who have a different say and probably go against it. But it amazes me how the British people, Black British, Black British, right, don't come together in a way to shake up this. It seems like there's this underlying fear.
Yeah,
Um,
and
you
that is
know,
what, yeah, and
yeah,
that is what this is about too.
yeah,
It's basically they have learned that they can gaslight you,
yeah,
and then that's the point of this. It's to gaslight you into fear, so that when they do this to Omen, God forbid the other person, especially person of color, that tried to come against them.
yeah.
Because this is what they did to, say, Max Foster. Now
Yeah.
Max Foster is this like royal sycophant. He used to be a fair journalist, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, he's an
And
embarrassment. Seriously. He's an
now it's
embarrassment and
just humiliating,
humiliated. And
watching that.
yeah, I'm like, I don't even know. And I was like, I think he thought he would come to America and like bring that whole British apology. I'm like, stiff lip. I'm like, no, you haven't met Americans, have you?
Yeah. But the thing again, it's William knows that the British people, they would not challenge him. He knows that he can do exactly that, and
My goal, yeah,
they wouldn't stand up. I
my
mean, that is
goal,
why.
my goal for Black people in Britain is that they will come together. I know they already do. They did that for Black Lives Matter. So I know they're capable of doing it. That they will come together. They'll find this common ground and really oppose this right wing thing that is really destroying them, not giving them a platform and not really nourishing them, helping them to really flourish. Like, what do you think about that? I really feel like they should be able to, maybe I'm such an idealist, an American idealist, that I'm thinking is all come together, let's go, let's put out, our power together, let's match, let's do this. Maybe I'm just not understanding, the way that the British system really works, But I feel like that this should be able to galvanize so much and get this thing under control. Am I completely
I
off?
think, look, it starts with reporting, right? It starts with having reporters who are willing to speak truthfully about what is happening with the royal family, especially. Mm-hmm. Reporters who are willing to go out there and not give in to their royalty nonsense, and really speak truthfully about what is happening, because that is underlining, because a lot of people in England, they literally depend on their press to tell them the truth. And if
but who owns the press? I think that's actually, you're right. Where do we start from? It's the press, but then it cannot be a monopoly, right? So the press right now seems to be a monopoly in the UK.
Right.
If they can just break that down and have strong independents like Byline and other platform or media institutions just rise up and have that healthy competition in news, in storytelling, in news reporting, right? I should say. Then I think that will make a difference. But if Murdoch and another person owns the whole, space, then no, it's not going to happen.
Right. Well, that exactly. And also too, it's kind of like a lot of Brits have to take responsibility. Mm-hmm. They know what the Daily Mail is. They know what the Sun is. They know what the Mirror and the Express. They know how dangerous it is. They have to take responsibility and stop watching and stop buying these.
Do they all know though?
And clicking.
Do they all know though? It's like
whether they all know or not. Enough of them know what it is, and they still click on it and read it and share it and buy it. They know what it is. They know how dangerous and damaging it is. But again, especially say in the Black community, we can sit around all day and scream at the Express and the Sun and the Daily Mail all we want. We could scream that they're not, lifting up Black community. Yeah. They're literally tearing down the Black community. They are not about, we can do that all we want. But there comes a time where we've got to start raising up our own people to do
Yeah.
what it is we want to do.
Yeah.
There's so many people who can have platform, who can, get together and build platforms. There are Black reporters that can come together. I remember, when Megan was in England and, tweeting at a lot of reporters, like, can you please speak out? Can you say something?
Mm.
And they're all like quivering in fear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, no, there comes a time where you have to stop looking at what the tabloids, that the white tabloids are doing, and decide, okay, we have a problem, and we have a problem with lies and misinformation in the press, and we have a problem with racism, and these people not holding whether it's the government or the royal family to account. They're not holding their feet to the fire.
Well,
They're not asking the question.
Afua Hirsch was, and she just got tired of it because it's just like you said, it's just a lot. Just one person, it's person.
She can't do it.
So she can't do it. You need people to come together to really, really, really push forward, and it means that you must be willing to know that it's going to cost you something. Exactly. And I think that's what it is, that they don't want it to cost them anything. They're like, they will go along and get along because, like, listen, I'm trying to feed my family. I get that, but there will be no change. Change is not going to happen if you're constantly going along and getting along.
Exactly. And then coming like, complaining about Lorraine or complaining about the, GMB or whatever. You can sit and complain all you want, but you have the power and the talent within you to create a platform and call out this nonsense. It's in your country. These people are in your country. You see what it is. You see the hypocrisy in the royal family. You see the nonsense that they're doing.
See the lies, honey. See the lies.
Allow them, especially Black organizations, do not allow them into your organization to take advantage of you and use you as a prop.
No, they won't. Of course they will. They get funding from them. That's the thing. It's like this is what I'm thinking. The whole system is built on you getting some sort of funding or some kind of patronages, them representing your patronage or whatever the case may be, that is tied to that so much so that they can separate themselves from that whole that hub. It seems like they all need sustainability by attaching themselves to them.
A lot of them don't. A lot of them is just the name. A lot of them don't make any money from. That's why a lot of them are closing. You know what I mean? A lot of them,
the affiliate of
the less getting benefit from the royal family being a part of their organization is the royal family. You know what I mean? A lot of them, the Queen will have 600 and something patronages. Some of them haven't seen her in years.
Listen, they haven't seen. They haven't seen Kate. Which patronage was that when Kate had a Zoom during COVID?
I know she hadn't seen them in 8
years. And the guy was like, "Oh, it's so good to see you since we haven't seen you in like such a long time, like in 8 years." Exactly. She was stuttering like, and yet it's your patronage. Like seriously, what a waste.
Exactly. Yeah, and so it's just like. Even with these organizations, it's kind of like, I think they're afraid to say, well, no, we'd rather you not be a part of our organization. Mm-hmm. They're afraid. And I think
that's what I'm saying. They're afraid because
to stand up and say, I don't want you.
Well, they're not if they really feel like the name helps them. Like you're right. Maybe you're right about they're not getting funding, but it's the name, right? If we're attached to the royal family, some kind of prestige comes along with that, but yet you're broke. You're about to close the doors. So what does that mean? What does they're still claiming they're coming around with 600 patronage that they're going to visit, but they haven't done that. So enough talk about the Robert Lacey, and I'm sure this is going to be an ongoing issue. This is not the end of it. So let's get through to the next topics. We have a few more topics, a couple more to go through. So let's discuss the Diana statue. Listen, V from YouTube and social media, V, she talks about how Harry was just like there and left. She's like, I don't have time for you guys. Like, I'm out. And the whole thing was did you see the part where they were focusing, the cameras were just focusing on William and not on Harry? Although Harry's aunts from his mom's side were like the hug. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it was really feel like she really was hugging Harry more, and like really putting
Mm-hmm.
hands on his shoulders. And it could be that maybe he just hasn't seen Harry in a long time, which is true, right? So, anyways, either way, it just feels like the cameraman was told, keep the camera
No,
on
he was
William.
literally told. You could
Oh,
hear
he
him.
was?
Yes, he
Oh,
was
I didn't hear
literally
that.
told. Focus on. He told them. The producer told them twice. The camera person twice to focus on William. You
Uh,
literally could hear him. Yeah, he
that
literally
is
said that
so
twice.
crazy. I didn't even, I just assumed I didn't even pay much attention to that. I was like, wait, what? Because you want to see the interaction between the aunt and Harry, and you want to be able to have a wide camera.
Right.
Now, I'm not that of a cameraman, but I feel like you have a wide camera to capture both. And they're very far apart enough that you couldn't capture both. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm-hmm.
like, so that's when I was like, wait, this is like really intentional. They want to focus on William and take the. So you invite him there to kind of think you're embarrassing him. Like we don't care. We don't. We love Harry no matter what. Like there was, what I mean. It was just really ridiculous. I thought
Yeah. Well,
that
also
was
too. I mean,
embarrassing for
I
them.
looked at it too. I looked at it both ways because they had two camera people, one international and one Brit.
Yeah.
So this one that Omid posted was the British press. So I get why they would just want to focus on William,
Yeah.
and the international one will focus on Harry.
Harry.
I mean, at least that's what I'm thinking. But it was kind of ridiculous because even when, if you look at the articles that came around, even like the Times, they didn't even have William on the cover. They just used Harry.
The one that he was looking behind, in front of it. Yeah. Exactly.
And it's just like, it's
Exactly.
ridiculous, but it's just like, but it was so
It's just
funny because
shameful.
they
They're
want
just
to make
like,
sure that, because William is the heir, so they want to make sure that's William that you're following, not Harry.
yeah.
And it just tells you how, if I have to tell the cameraman, I, as a camera person, as a photographer, you get a sense of where, of the direction, you know what I mean? You get an emotional sense with the
Yeah,
subjects
because you're
that you're.
telling a story. Just because you have a camera doesn't mean you just like watch. You're telling a story, and the
Exactly.
story has to flow, right? Because
Exactly.
we're not there, so the cameraman is our eyes, and he is
Exactly.
telling the story of like, okay, they walk down the stairs. Here is the interaction between aunts and nephews, and one nephew. You know what I mean? So yes, he's not saying anything. Nobody's translating anything, but we, the viewers, are watching. Now we might be all in our echo chambers and having, trying to define what we're seeing. It's still a story, nonetheless, a story, right? And so if you miss out on that, then your story is incomplete. It's like, what,
Right.
yeah, it doesn't feel right.
And then
So it
you're
was really
following a
interesting.
subject who is just very not emotional, it's really just dull.
Boring.
And and that's why the cameraman is probably like, Harry, at least with Harry, even though he's not saying anything, there's so much that is going on with Harry that is so much more interesting
Yeah.
than it is
His
following
facial
someone
expression, the
completely
way he
emotionally
hugs,
stunted.
yeah. His
Yeah.
facial expression, the way he's hugging, the smiles, the laughter, the gestures.
Somebody shouting at somebody across the pond, you know what I mean?
He
There's
like
so much
looks.
more.
It's just so much
Exactly.
to go with that. I'm like, why would you miss out on that because of your ego?
Yeah, and the thing is too, again, is because William is the heir. It's like
Oh,
you
who
miss out on
cares? It's
all
like,
the
seriously,
wonderful
is
things
he
you
really
can
going to be
see
the
with.
heir?
Yeah, you miss out on all the wonderful things you can see with Harry to follow someone who is emotionally stunted that can't even. There's nothing that he gives you. Nothing. There's
No,
nothing there.
no. Listen,
And
the
so
world is not, listen, I said the world because I'm part of it, are not that interested in
we're
Harry.
not.
We're
We're
not.
not. And it's kind
And
of
I
like
know
they're
some
trying
viewers,
to.
somebody's going to come on our page and argue this out with me. I'm just saying what
We're
I'm saying.
not.
We're
We're
not.
just
We're
not.
really
William
not.
is
We don't
not
really care.
interesting
William and
without
Kate are
Harry.
boring to us. It's like they're not, and they don't stand for much. It's like they don't stand and really strongly stand for things that people are beginning to like have been aware of and continue to be aware of and like really gravitate towards.
And I think too,
Um,
more important, not more important, but also important, is the statue itself. And I really love
Mm-hmm.
the statue. I love, I know some people were saying, well, it doesn't look like Diana. They don't feel like some.
It didn't, but I
There's
still liked
some
it. It
parts
didn't,
of it
yeah.
that there's some angles that is like, well, does that? But for me, when I think of a statue, I don't look for exact resemblance to the person. I look for what the statue represents more than anything else. And
Mm,
for me, it represented who she and embodies who she was and the essence of who she was and the things she loved and cared about and what her work was about. And I
yeah,
feel like her sons really did capture that because that whole thing was based on what they want to share
yeah,
with the world about who their mother is.
yeah.
And for me, I felt they did a great job with that because for me it represented who she was. It's a statue.
I get what
So
you're
for
saying.
me,
I get
if
what
they
you're
were
saying.
so,
I get what
for
you're
me, if
saying, but
they were so concerned, like the people I think, reporters, some of them are like, they didn't like whatever. I'm like, if you're that
oh
concerned,
well,
maybe y'all shouldn't have participated in killing her. Then you would have a real person and you wouldn't have to be focused on a statue.
yeah.
That is what I
Well,
have to say about
my
that.
take was I felt like it could have been a little bit more defined. Certain things, right? Like the hair was way too short. I don't remember Diana's hair that short. I know it was short, but it was a little bit, that's just me being more thinking of Diana. I'm like the profile, the nose, that maybe they could just
A little
define a
more of
little
a
more
smile.
the smile, yeah, and then just maybe tilted her head down a little because she always tilts her head down and smiles. Like that is the image I think of when I think of Diana. Like she always has that kind of shy smile and her head down, and she's kind of like rest her head on her shoulder, tilt her head a little bit. So again, that was what I was expecting. It's not my place to determine, but it's just my opinion. I felt like it
Yeah.
could have been a little bit more defined in certain way. But the outfit was nice. That's her with the belt. So
Yeah,
that I
because it
thought
was
was
actually an
really her.
actual outfit. But I
Yeah.
think too, in terms of that, because I thought about the smile as well, because I always think of Diana as that. But then I look at the situation that she's in, though. Look at the kids. The fact that she's in a situation where you have two kids. They don't even have shoes. They're in a very poverty stricken
Mm-hmm.
situation. And so even though I think of her as a smile, the situation that she's in, I don't know anybody who would be really
Well, you're right. Maybe it's
smiling.
a picture that she didn't smile, and they just
Exactly.
use
Exactly.
that the
You
carve that
think of
picture.
that.
So yeah. So yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
Think of that. You put that her in that situation, say in the slums of, say, Africa or India or China, there wouldn't be much of a smile when you see kids,
Yeah.
with no shoes, they're poverty poor. And then, also too, I was really happy to see they
The
have a
little
little
black guy.
black boy. I think that
Boy
was
there.
very shocking.
Somebody made a comment that that black boy will be what is it, Doctor? Somebody made a comment about the black boy. Like, oh, watch out. The
Yeah,
British media is
and of
gonna
course, a lot of people hated the idea that the little black boy was
in front.
in there. Yeah,
But there's like another kid behind her, which
there was a little kid. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And so
Oh,
you have to go on a little bit of an angle to see the child,
yeah,
but the little
yeah,
boy behind her. But a lot of people didn't like the idea of the little black boy there because it ruined their idea of what a lot of people wanted to see Harry and William to be the
as the
kids.
kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was a little
But
surprising.
yeah,
But
but it
knowing
wasn't about
Diana,
that. It wasn't about her. It wasn't about that. That it was
wasn't
about
about
her
them.
mission
Yeah.
and and that's her. That was her calling, what she stood for. And so why would you? Because if you put Harry and William, then the conversation stops right there. Her boys. But
Exactly.
those three just reflects the
Who
journey
she
that
was,
who she was
exactly.
and what she did. Yeah. So people,
And
I
which is
mean,
what,
whatever.
which is what Diana was about. I mean, I know she was very resentful of the fact that a lot of the British press focused on what she was wearing, what her hair was like, what
Yeah.
the jewelry was like, and did not focus on the work. And she, even in the Martin Bashir interview, that was one of the things she talked about, that they didn't focus on, she wanted people to focus on the press, to focus on the work and the
Yeah.
organization
Yeah.
working with. And so again, they're still of the mindset of, let's vote. Well, she should have been wearing this, and it's just like, No, look at
They're
what
so
these
vain.
kids represent. That is who Diana was.
They're so
You know,
vain,
she,
empty shells. They just
yeah,
don't.
exactly.
Some reason I feel like maturity has escaped them and just
There is no
being
maturity
mature.
there.
Yeah, it has
Yeah,
escaped them, and so they just tend to live in this fantasy world that they feel like then the real world is moving ahead, and they're still stuck
yeah,
in a period of time, and they can't understand why the rest of the world is not, it's not creating this fandom about what they're doing. It's like, no, come on, that's like what you're doing is like, 17 something. Like we've been
yeah.
moved on. Yes. But anyways, we're moving along. What else do we have?
We had like the Beatrice baby bump
Oh,
thing.
yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah. So anyway, so I saw that she went to Wimbledon, right? And she was creating her stomach with both hands. Must I be specific? Uh, and I haven't heard any woobla about that. Everybody's just oohing and like, ooh, how cute, da 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 da. What happened to the ferociousness of a woman touching her stomach, specifically Megan? What happened to that? What happened to her? Why is she cradling her stomach? How dare she cradle her own stomach? How dare, is Beatrice, right? Not Eugene, I don't know the difference between the two of
Beatrice,
them.
yeah.
How dare Beatrice touch her stomach? Who gave her the right to touch her own baby, her baby, her stomach, her pregnant stomach? She has no right, does she? Because I don't think Megan was given that right. So if Megan wasn't, why does Beatrice have that right?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I mean, look, Beatrice is pregnant, so I'm glad she is cradling her baby and all
Yeah.
of those things.
No,
And
I was
that's
just being
wonderful,
funny because of the
wonderful
media.
as yeah, no, it's a wonderful thing as a mother. You do what you want. It's your hands and it's your body. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? But what was reported in the Daily Mail is
of course.
Beatrice is lovingly cradling her baby bump. But when Megan did it, it was, why is Megan always doing it? Is it vanity, pride? Is
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
some new age thing?
yeah.
So with Beatrice is lovingly cradling, with Kate was also lovingly
Really
cradling her
crazy.
baby bump.
Yeah,
But with Megan, is it
yeah.
vanity? Is it
I
pride? Is
wonder
it acting? Is
why.
it new age?
I wonder why. What the difference?
I
What the reason?
wonder.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
wonder.
wonder.
Hmm.
And again, it's just the hip. It's the double standard, the hypocrisy, it's the racism, it's everything in there. The
All
white
mixed up.
princess can do it. The black princess, of course, it's negative.
No.
And so it just, yeah.
You know what? I don't tend to talk about religious stuff, but I feel like God is definitely going to expose and really just wreak havoc on those evil people. Watch. It's not me. I don't have the power to do anything, but evil always is exposed. Evil always falls, loses. So we will just sit here. Thanks to all the Success Squad who are the prayer warriors. They've been praying. They've been going at it really hardcore. So kudos to y'all. But yeah, I feel like Meghan and Harry are in a good place.
They
And yes,
are, and they're completely private. No
hmm
access to them. Nobody has access.
nope,
And I don't want to see baby Lily. Let them
no.
keep that baby
Until
private.
they want to, if they want to, then
When
great.
she's 18 years old, we can
Okay,
get a
no,
look. I do
not
not want to
18. Come
see
on,
baby Lily.
not
I
18.
want
That's what.
her to be. I want to when she's 18, she could introduce herself and says, "I am Lilibet, Lily Diana Mountbatten Windsor," and I would be if Lord keeps me
No, wait, wait,
alive in this
wait, wait,
world.
wait, wait. I am Lilibet Lily Diana Mountbatten Windsor, and I'm running for president of the United States of America.
Amen to that.
Mic drop.
Amen. I will. If the Lord keeps me alive, I would be like, yo, welcome, my dear little child. Welcome. I love you. I've loved you for 18 years. I'm willing to wait
Well,
18
she can't
years
run
to
for
see.
president as 18. I was just being funny. But
Lord.
somebody said, she's 18, she can't run. I know. I'm just being funny.
Who knows? By the time she grows up, you never know. You never know.
You never know. Might change. Yeah.
Knows,
She can run for any other, community council member or anything like that.
Exactly.
So
I'm willing to wait. I do not want to see this child. I don't want to see Archie. I love knowing the fact that they are wonderful, they're safe, they're protected. Yeah. I want them away from, I do not want press or anybody getting any picture of these children.
Yeah.
Let them live their life in private. Yeah.
So they can even go out and play out and people wouldn't even know who they are.
Let's move on to the charity.
Yeah, so charity. That's I did contribute to that charity. I just realized I did. But go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah, so the charity we're going to look at today is Minor Mahalia, and we've looked
Mhm.
at them before,
Yes.
but they actually, the leader of Minor Mahalia just wrote an article on Archwell,
Yeah.
really talking about just the situation in India right now with COVID.
Yes. COVID. Yeah.
And it's really incredible because with that, Sussex Squad is also doing a fundraiser
Fundraiser.
in honor of Megan's birthday coming up August
August
4th.
4th.
Yes, her 40th birthday. And so Sussex Squad, the Sussex Squad Cooking Club has organized this
Yeah.
incredible fundraiser that, $50 will can supply a year's worth of sanitary napkins, sanitary
Mhm.
items for a
Sanitary pad.
girl,
Yes.
sanitary items for a girl up to a year.
Yeah.
And so it's really incredible that I think over 240 girls are now will receive sanitary items for a year from
Yeah.
this fundraiser, and it's really incredible. It's going on, and just so you know, in India, girls, because they don't have access to sanitary napkins,
Can't go to school.
etc., they can't go to school. A lot of them are quitting school.
Yeah.
They cannot get an education because
They have to isolate
have
themselves
period,
too when they have their period. They have to. Yeah.
yeah,
It's crazy.
they don't, because they don't have. And then there's also the stigma with menstruation that some people, they even think there's an evil spirit,
Yeah.
or
Okay. So hold
they
up
even.
before you go on, I just want to talk about that. Like 2021, there's still a stigma of a woman having her menstrual. How do you think it came into the world? For those, well, I'm assuming these are all men having stigmas, because a woman cannot have a stigma on that because you're also having your period. So I'm assuming these are men. How do you think it came into the world? Do they even think about that?
And that's where education is so important, because you have a section of the population that don't have education, and that's why it's important that the girls are in school, so that they can, because when a girl is educated, they can go back and educate their
Everybody
community.
else, yeah.
And so the fact that they don't know that that's part of child, how you are able to
It's
give
part of
birth.
life.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and that
The
comes again,
continuation of
that
human
comes
life.
with lack of education. And that's why it's important that these girls get an education, because they can go back home and teach their moms, who can share it with their fathers, their brothers and sisters, whatever. And so because they don't have the sanitary products, they're quitting school, and then they're
Yeah.
not having the education. So if we can fix that, where we can give them that, so they don't have to quit school, and they don't have to feel ashamed or fear because they're bleeding and don't have any way to be able to protect themselves. And a lot of them don't have, say, a bathroom at their house. They're using a public facility to, so imagine you are menstruating, and then you have to go use a public facility. You're bleeding. You don't have any way to protect yourself. You don't want to be in public. You definitely you can't sit through school. You can't go. So it's just a whole it's just a whole myriad, or a whole
And then
cycle of problems.
and then also think about menstrual cramps, because
Exactly.
that is, I don't even know if we're
Exactly.
talking about that, because I know, yes, protecting them. Yeah, it's like, it's insane. People, I used to go through that a lot. I mean, thank God for Advil.
Yes.
And
They're my godsends.
Midol and Advil. I couldn't do anything. I just stay in bed. I couldn't even move. I'll be throwing up and just sick. So that alone can get you out of school. And then on top of that, you're bleeding all over the place. You don't have anything else to cover. Like, can you imagine? That's hell.
It is hell. It is hell. And so that's why it is so important to get these young girls these products, because you never think that menstruation will cause you to not have an education, but here we have an example of something that common. In
it's
America,
a trickle-down
this
effect.
stuff is all over the place.
Yeah, it's a trickle-down effect. One thing just keeps going, and then you end up not in school.
So that's why I'm so happy that the Sussex Squad Cooking Club has put together this fundraiser. I've donated. You've also donated.
Yeah.
So Sussex Squad, you do your thing. You always come through. Yeah. And the more we can get these girls these products, then the more that of them that can be educated, can get an education and be able to, one, leave the poverty, the poverty that they grew up in. They don't have to spend the rest of their life there. And I think they can do that with an education, and not just, again, not just in India. That this is something that's all around, I'm sure there are a lot of places in Africa, even in this country, that are
in America too. Poverty, there's poverty where if you go to some areas in America, the people who live in huts, stick huts, right? Homes, and there's no running water and there's no indoor bathroom. So just because we live in America doesn't mean that poverty escapes us. It's still here. So we should do our best to look out for each other. So I was just going to say that we, as Sister Squad podcast, just finished donating to a charity for a month, which you can still go back and donate to. It's called the Friendship Bench, which was in the Me You Can't See mental wellness video by Prince Harry and Oprah. And so we donated to that. I think that was last month, where the goal was like $500, but we raised over $2,000 and over. So to give to that, to really empower people to help with their mental wellness. And she picks a charity every month. So check out her site to see what's going on this month. I will as well. Don't forget to donate to our charity that we're mentioning. And then it's paying it forward. It doesn't have to be a lot, even if it's $10, $5. And if you can't, just share it.
Just share,
Just share it. It's fine. Don't feel obligated. Just share it and let's spread the word. And August 4th is coming up, so let's make a difference. America's birthday. So thanks so much, folks, for joining us on this episode. We are so happy you joined. Again, don't forget to subscribe and check the notification bell and share the video, comment, and let's make this video go. How many views do we want? Maybe like 5,000 views. 5,000.
Share it, please.
Share it, yeah. The number is 5,000 on all aspects, and we will come up with a way of an incentive when we hit 5,000. So until next time, toodaloo.
Okay, bye.
Bye, ciao.
Bye.